Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and we have an additional recessionary indicator that is proving beyond a shadow of doubt that a recession is right around the corner. In fact, you guys, the way that recession works, we may already be in recession right now. A lot of times what happens, at least during the GFC, the government revises back data. That's why we hear a lot of brilliant economists like Danielle DiMartino Booth saying we've been in recession since October of 2023. It's hard to really get a gauge on that when we have so much inflation, which is why it's so important to look at multiple recessionary trends and indicators that warns us. And you guys, we have a brand new one today. And again, this is proof positive. And the question is, guys, is what does recession mean to us? Okay, as citizens, consumers on the sideline. What does recession mean? Well, it means job loss, which means defaults, which means prices going down with a side of credit tightening and a side of stock market collapsing. You guys, the reality is there's only one way that this is going to end: pain and deflation. And there's going to be two types of people: people that make it through okay and people that don't make it through okay. And the difference is preparation, self-sacrifice, and discipline before the stuff hits the fan. You guys, this is going to be a great video. We're going to go through everything recessionary indicator. Now, I want to acknowledge some of the remarks that we've been saying in the comment section. Sometimes I hear things like,
"Oh, Travis, a clock is right. A broken clock is right twice a day, or you're eventually going to be right," and blah, 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 blah.
And I'm going to say right now, if you're a hater or a disbeliever with that type of attitude, then your advice is as good as a used diaper. Because the important thing to ask is not if. The important thing to ask is when. And then after you ask that question, when, and hopefully it's not too late, then you have to ask yourself this question: what are you doing about it to stay ahead through the next economic turmoil? What are you guys doing? Are you rebudgeting? Are you looking at your finances? Are you changing the way you're living your life? Or are you guys just doing the same old thing, same old song and dance? You guys got your head in the sand, just like, oh, Travis is ranting again. I wonder if it's going to go down. Like, I hope that's not what you're doing. I hope what you're doing is when you're done looking at videos like this, go check the data. 99% of the time, I have the data linked in my description so you guys can see for yourself. That's what my channel is about. And listen, guys, okay? Listen to me very carefully. Disregard what you're hearing in the headlines. Anytime someone says the economy is great, the labor market is great, that we're not going into recession, roll your eyes. And also, once we hit recession, which is not very far away, it's very, very close actually, remember how all of the bulls deceived us, straight up deceived us, and then ask why. Why are so many people deceiving us? Because the entire media, entire society is designed to make profit off of our bad decisions. They need to keep this whole game show going, guys. And the only way they can keep this going is to convince us to spend our money. But you want to know what happens during recession? We don't spend our money during recession. We don't got money during recession. But the people that do have money during recession, they save their money because people start understanding and remembering why it's so important to save your money. And y'all, the youth of these days, the millennials and the youth, they are in for a rude awakening. It blows my mind how clueless some people still are, guys. Why? You guys help me answer this. Why are people so clueless still? Is it because they don't care? Is it because they don't understand what's going on? Is it because they tell themselves this could never happen to me? Why? Why are they so clueless? We have so many indicators. It's not like they didn't have the opportunity to learn. Every single person had the opportunity to learn, understand, and prepare. But I don't see a lot of people doing that. Now, we're going to start with this article this is breaking news, you guys. This is from the American Institute for Economic Research. Very credible source here. They're going to talk about a new indicator that's flashing red, basically guaranteeing 100% we're going into recession. But again, I've been saying that this is just another indicator. Now, this is titled June U3. U3 is just the normal unemployment rate that's being tracked. U6 is like underemployed, but we've been tracking U3. Jobless rate triggers sham rule recession ahead. So this is a new rule. It's called sham rule. There was another one we covered, which has to do with unemployment at 0.4. This is a new indicator right here, guys, with an increase of unemployment of 0.5. So again, this is proof. This is a guarantee. And you guys will see the charts here in a second. And we'll show you, yeah, there's a recession probably possibly already here. In this morning's U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data release, the U3 unemployment rate increased to 4.1% in June 2024, raising by 0.1 of a percentage point above the forecast rate. The U3 rate measures the percentage of the civilian labor force that is jobless, actively seeking work, and available to work, excluding discouraged workers and the underemployed, which they, and if you guys want to look at the discouraged workers and underemployed, that's when you look at U6. And I believe U6 is at about 7% right now, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is like, you guys got to pay attention. Recession's about here. I mean, it's literally about here, and the pain hasn't really even started yet for everyone. This uptick triggers the Shahim rule, a real-time recession indicator suggesting the U.S. economy is in or is nearing recession. The Shahim rule, developed by former Fed economist, I can't pronounce that. Is that Shahim? Let me know how you pronounce that. Shahim is designed to identify the start of a recession using changes in total unemployment rate. You guys, this is for sure, okay? Again, I get it. You can hate me. That's fine. I'm not going to censor you. You can disagree with me, but explain to me how the economy is okay. Explain to me how the labor market's okay, because it's not. I'm going to show you multiple. This is just the first data set. Let me just, you know what? To the haters, just don't even type. Let's just keep going. According to the rule, a recession is underway if the 3-month moving average of the national unemployment rate rises by 0.5 percentage points or more. So this is our second indicator. Remember, you guys, last month we had an additional indicator at 0.4. So we have pretty much all the indicators at this point, except negative GDP, right? That's really the only thing we don't have at this point. Would you guys agree? But again, they will revise GDP data as they always do. Now, this is 0.5 percentage points or more relative to its low during the previous 12 months. With the June 2024 U3 rate of 4.1%, the average of the last 3 months being 4%, and the lowest 12-month rate of 3.5% in July of 2023, this massive, giant, effective warning has been triggered. And look at this, guys. Again, there's no guessing here. There's no emotion here. This is just how it works. You guys, the data will be linked. Just check out for yourself. If there's one thing that you get from this video, let it be that we are going into recession. We are 100% going into recession. If we look at the data, multiple data sets, multiple historical precedences, we're going into recession, guys. So prepare, save your money, rebudget while you still have time, because most people that are preparing can become winners. Most millionaires are actually made through recession. So guys, please, you're watching this, save your money, get ready, be prepared, purchasing power, purchasing power, purchasing power. Build it, be ready, don't give up hope. But take a look at this chart, you guys. Again, first of all, take a look at right here. So this, you see this movement upward right here? That's what I've been screaming at people, because we hear all the time, oh, unemployment rate is low. It's only 4.1%. And that's true. The unemployment rate is only 4.1%. But I'm like, yeah, guys, look beyond the number. Look at the trajectory. Look at the direction, because the direction, that trajectory, is telling us the health of the labor market. So if unemployment is going up, there's something wrong with the unemployment market. And what's wrong with the unemployment market? Quantitative tightening. The Fed's trying to destroy the labor market, because sadly, that's the situation that we're in. And so you see this uptick. You get a blind eye can see this increase in unemployment right here. Now, again, look at the last time unemployment has gone up. So right here, it's gone up, okay? And then you see this red vertical line that indicates recession. So unemployment goes up into recession. So it starts going up, then we hit recession, and then it goes up a lot more. And that's why I say we haven't really felt the pain yet, because unemployment hasn't spiraled out of control like what will happen during the recession. You guys see that here during the dot-com bubble right here, unemployment starts to go up. right into recession, and then it skyrockets. So this tick upward is just the beginning, you guys. And then right here in the 1990s, this is also when we had price decline in real estate, even though we had low transactions, Logan. Okay, hopefully you're listening to this. But look at guys, unemployment goes up right into recession, and then it skyrockets. Same thing right here. Unemployment skyrockets up into recession. Unemployment goes up and then skyrockets into recession. Unemployment goes up and skyrockets into recession. Same thing here, same thing here. Going back into the 1960s, you guys, we have 60 years of data right in front of your eyes right now that is saying, hey, don't look at the headlines, trust the data, look at what's happening. It is unraveling right before our eyes. Please keep your eyes open. Now this goes on. Surveys had forecast the U3 unemployment to hold steady at 4% in June, unchanged from May 2023. However, that did not come true as it did increase 0.1%. And that carries substantial implications for the broader economy. So even though it's 0.1%, that's a big problem because again, the trajectory, guys. The trajectory. One possible confounding effect on the signal is growth in the labor force. If the labor force grows rapidly and the economy does not generate enough jobs to match the increase, the unemployment rate might rise and the Shyam rule may be triggered, even if overall employment is increasing. The rise of initial claims over the past few weeks and 9 consecutive increases in continued claims support the June 2024 indication. And I want to warn you guys, and I'm not in the stock market. I never said I was, but more than likely, if a recession happens, stock market's going to go down. Well, according to some economists, and I'll make a video, stock market goes down 30%. Imagine a 30% reduction in the stock market and how bad things would really get. The problem with everything, guys, we have all of these things that are simultaneously hurting us, and they're all going to crash at the same time. We're going to have pain from every single angle. And my question is when they start printing even more, because they never stopped, is that even going to be enough to stop what they've already broken? Probably not. Okay, so we have the unemployment, but let me show you guys another recessionary indicator in a few bullet points because it's not just unemployment. We have at this point, guys, I mean, I just laugh at people that don't see this going on. I mean, just pick one. Pick an indicator. What do you guys think the most important one is? I mean, if you don't like this, let's use this. If you don't like that, let's use this. If you don't like that, we'll just use this. Our point is just be cautious. Hey, and I get it. Like there's some people that are filthy rich millionaires and they're, strutting around like, oh, I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Just buy. Like, hey, I ain't talking to you. Okay. I'm not saying I want you to lose 30% in the stock market. I don't want anyone to be hurt like that. My point is I'm talking to normal people like myself. And having said that, take a look at this, guys. This is the annual change in government jobs as a percentage of non-farm gains. Okay, so here's the chart right here. This is going to the end of 2023. Basically, it was a 25% change in government jobs. Now, let me just read a few bullet points right here, guys, from these chart notes, because again, we're not supposed to have government replace full-time private jobs. That is an unhealthy economy. Okay, so these job numbers are fake. They're not real. It is just hurting us. I'm trying to explain that to most of America. A lot of my viewers are woken up. Some of them are not, though. Now, here's some bullet points. When government jobs account for more than 10% of all jobs, the economy is nearing recession. You guys, again, when it's more than 10%, it was 25% at the end of 2023. Bullet point number 2, the last time we saw government jobs account for 25% of the total was right before the Great Recession. So the last time we saw these types of government jobs propping up the economy, we went into the biggest recession of my lifetime. And yet I'm the doomer. I'm just doing this for views. Then why would I reference factual data that is proving beyond a shadow of doubt what I'm saying? Bullet point number 3, headed into the COVID recession, government jobs were 10.82% of the total. So you guys remember me saying we're in a double bubble. So right before going into COVID, we were already nearing recessionary indicators for government jobs. And that's why they did quantitative tightening in 2018, 2019. They raised the federal funds rate to curb the bubble that was happening. But instead of that, the opposite happened, you guys, and we go from 10.8 to 25%. Absolutely shocking. Bullet point number 4, headed into the 2001 recession. We had 2 years of government percentages at 14.4 and 13.62. And you guys, we've shattered that right now. We've shattered that right now. Are y'all paying attention yet? Are y'all paying attention yet? What are you doing about this? Okay, I want in the comments below, what are you doing to prepare? Comment below. Are you curbing your spending? Are you still recklessly spending? What are you doing as American citizens? And share with us. Help grow the community. Help us unify. Share the tips. How are you making it through this? And maybe you're not. And if you're not, look at the comments. Maybe there's advice that there should be. There's usually some great advice. Now, bullet point number 5. To avoid weird-looking negative percentages in years where non-farm payrolls declined, I set the numbers to 0. The green highlights our yields when government hubs decline, but overall payrolls increase. And here it is again, you guys, just very, very, very nasty looking indicator. And the thing is, guys, that's not all. We also have this really, really well-trusted, probably the most well-trusted indicator in the history of recessions. This is the 10-year Treasury and 2-year Treasury inversion. We first started inversion right here. This was April of 2022. So from the time from first inversion to right now, that's over 2 years, 2 years and 3 months. We have been inverted the longest we have in history. But this takes a bunch of indicators, it lumps it into one chart right here to warn us of recession. This is very trusted. This is very accurate. And this here again is saying we are headed to recession. Right here. I mean, this is proof positive right here, guys. And the interesting thing is look at it. Over the past few weeks, it's been shooting up. When this uninverts, when it goes over that black line, that's usually when the stuff or the crap hits the fan. And again, what do I talk about? Trajectory. Look at that trajectory, you guys. I'm telling you, recession is knocking on the door. How are you going to answer it? And here's another massive indicator of an unhealthy economy. It's the government deficit spending. It's basically saying that we're not making enough money to what we're spending. This is creating an overwhelming amount of inflation. We cannot comprehend as American citizens how much 1.2 trillion is, but the deficit spending just for year to date is 1.2 trillion. Let me show you guys again where we came from. Okay, so here's the chart of the various years of deficit. The last time we had a surplus was in 2001. Now, during the great financial crisis of 2009, the deficit spending to keep us alive and propped up was 1.42 trillion. Year to date, and the year's not over, obviously, it's at 1.2. We are almost at a similar deficit spending than the GFC, and the year's not over, and we're not even in recession. So what happens when we're finally in recession? How much trillions are we going to print again? Ask yourself that. How bad is the economy right now? My God, you guys. And look at 2023. People are like, oh, we made it through 2023. It was great. Well, what happens when we remove that $1.7 trillion in deficit? What happens to the economy then? Well, we kind of know because didn't we have 2 quarters of negative GDP in 2022? Isn't that right, guys? Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm only human. But we did have 2 negative quarters in a row in 2022, right? You guys, that's what happens when you remove the deficit spending. We already saw. We had 2 quarters of negative GDP. It's just the White House changed the definition because they're probably like, we got all this money right here. Let's just spend our way out of this bad data. Let's just spend our way out of this bad data. And y'all, when I say double bubble, I think this chart best represents what I'm talking about. This is Case-Shiller. So this is, the red line is home value. Okay, the red line's home value, and we'll say the bottom line's CPI. The bottom line's purchasing power. Let's just say that. So you have home value over consumer purchasing power. You guys see that initial run up right here? This is the GFC. This is when it really ballooned and unhinged, wasn't sustainable. We had a real estate crashed, and values went down more in line with consumer purchasing power. You guys see that. Now, it started to get out of control again in 2012. This is when I think the government should have stopped doing mortgage-backed security purchases. Okay, they were still doing quantitative easing, and this is, again, why I believe this happened the way it did. Now, they stopped quantitative easing around 2017. So they were fighting this bubble right here, where my mouse is going over right here, in the form of doing quantitative tightening and raising the federal funds rate. So again, they were curving this right here, but what happened, instead of that bubble shrinking, it blew up because of the lockdowns. And this is the double bubble here. Okay, you see that? You could call it a triple bubble if you want, but we still haven't paid for this bubble, you guys. And again, we know that. We see it in the charts. We see them selling mortgage-backed securities. We see the federal funds rate increasing. But what knocked on the door? Lockdowns, COVID. Messed us up real bad. So when all is said and done, what do you do with this information? I don't know. Your situation is different than mine, right? But I'll tell you what I'm doing is I got all my money out of the stock market for one. Now, maybe I did miss out on the gravy boat. I don't care. Okay, I didn't want to stress out about it. The stress wasn't worth it to me. The thing is, guys, I want you to remember what happened to me. I lost everything. And during the GFC, I lost everything: bankruptcy, foreclosure, repo, and a $100,000 tax lien because of my foreclosure. There's a deficiency notice. They taxed me for 9 years because I had a foreclosure. What I'm saying is, if I would have changed the way that I was living my life, the way that I was spending, my mindset, okay, if I would have been disciplined, if I would have sacrificed things that I desired, I would not have had a foreclosure, bankruptcy, and repo. I would have been able to make it through the recession, but I spent to the end, and I kept my head in the sand until the recession knocked on my door, and I had no choice but to answer it. And when I answered it, you want to know what the recession said? Here's your foreclosure notice, you're fired. And I don't want that to happen to you. So again, I hope what you guys are really gaining from these videos is, number one, as a community, we need to stay united. So I'm not going to censor the comments unless it's like some crazy hate stuff, okay? So even if people are disgruntled, still show them love. We need to stay united, okay? But the other thing is, guys, is now what I'm hoping you're getting is now is a time for caution, not reckless spending. Okay, if you must spend, go buy some lottery tickets, a $1 lottery ticket, and call it a day and wait for the numbers to be drawn. Chill yourself out. But be careful, guys. It is very dangerous out there. It's very difficult to trust people, and it's very difficult to get unbiased information. Usually it's just buy, and we don't trust any more. At least I don't trust these people anymore. Either way, guys, do me a favor, comment below. Let me know if this video helped you. Let me know what you thought about the indicators. Don't forget, I have all kinds of links in my description. I have a commercial loan application. If you need help with commercial financing, purchase or refinancing, I have a free subdivision analysis form that I hope you guys are using. I have a free home buying course. So if you're frustrated on the sidelines, you want to learn how to buy a house. I didn't say buy a house. I said learn how to buy a house so that when it's finally time to buy, you're an expert. Well, I made that for you, and I'm giving it away for free because my goal of this channel is to not only grow myself as an American citizen consumer, but help you grow as well. Because the reality is we need every chance we can get. Society and the economy is designed to profit off of our mistakes, so let's stop making them. And other than that, guys, if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.